episode number 195.
Hello, you're listening to the Career Changemaker podcast. Having the courage to leave a career that you have worked hard to build and try something else can be tough. So in each episode, we dive into key career change strategies so that you have a clear understanding of what is required to transition into a new role or a new industry without feeling like you have to start at the bottom or have to take a massive pay cut, because hashtag ain't nobody got time for that. If you are ready for frank and honest discussions about how to become a career change maker, keep listening. I'm your host, lawyer turned career strategist and executive coach, Janine Esbrand. Hi, I want to talk about resistance and the importance of keeping going when you are feeling that resistance. And the reason why I want to talk about this is because it's been coming up a lot in conversations that I've been having with coaching clients. And I think if you are contemplating a career change, or if you have commenced your journey towards making a change, it's likely that you are going to, or you are experiencing this. So I want to talk to you. So when you are contemplating making a career move, or if you are in the process of figuring out what that next move needs to look like, or if you are trying to make it happen, it's likely that you are going to experience resistance. And that resistance can come in the form of internal resistance, and it can come in the form of external resistance. I'm going to talk a little bit about external, but I really want to focus on the internal right now, because the internal resistance that you will experience, or you are experiencing, can be a major reason why you throw in the towel, a major reason why you just say, I can't do this, it's not going to happen for me. So I want to talk about it. And I was having a conversation with a client who has been making incredible progress inside of my program, the Career Clarity Academy. She's been identifying what it is she doesn't want to do. She's clarified some options that she wants to pursue. So she's in a great place. But the message that she sent to me was something along the lines of, I've got all of these options, but I'm starting to feel like it's such a huge mountain to climb. And maybe I should just stay doing what I've been doing because it's easier. It's going to be easier for me to stay doing what I've been doing than it is going to be for me to make the transition. I responded to her and said, what you are feeling right now is absolutely normal. Because here's the thing, you are in your comfort zone. If you've been in your current role for 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, or 15 years, whatever the time frame is, you are comfortable. You're comfortable doing what you're doing, how you've been doing it, and it's what you know, right? It's your frame of reference. So for you to then say, I'm going to step outside of what I know, and I'm going to move into the unknown and transition into something different, that is sending your subconscious mind into a like, oh, hold on, what are we doing? Why are we doing this? Why would we rock the boat? We are comfortable. Why are we doing this? And so even though you have identified that what you're doing right now is not what you want to do, even though you've got to a place where you're saying, I want to make a career move, that doesn't mean that you're not going to experience resistance. Just stating that you want to do something doesn't mean you're not going to have feelings of doubt, have feelings of, oh, is this the right thing for me to be doing? Have feelings of imposter syndrome, like all the things that come up when you start considering doing something else. But what I want to share with you, and what I want to encourage you to really think about, is the fact that resistance and the feelings of resistance that you have do not necessarily mean that you need to stop doing what you're doing. Doesn't necessarily mean you need to stop doing what you're doing. And in fact, if you're feeling resistant, it means that you are stepping outside of your comfort zone, and you are moving towards growth and change, and you are open to experiencing a different way of doing work and a different way of showing up. So that resistance is actually a good thing. It's an indicator that you're taking action and you're moving towards making things better. Because if you've embarked on this journey, the reality is where you are right now is not working for you, and it hasn't been working for you. And that's why you're even contemplating making a career change in the first place. So if you are feeling resistance, that tells me that you're taking action. That tells me that you're doing the uncomfortable things that are required in order for you to move from A to B. Okay, so just because you feel that resistance, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's like, okay, I should just quit this. This isn't the right thing to do. Because, you know, sometimes we want to rely on our feelings. We'll say, you know, I've got a gut feeling about this. I don't think it's the right thing to do. And I want you to make sure that you're checking those feelings and really assessing, is the feeling that I'm feeling something that I need to listen to right now, or is it something that I need to pay attention to and then decide that, okay, I'm going to push forward regardless? Because the reality is, if I talk about my client and this example where she's saying that, you know, it feels like it's a big mountain to climb. Yes, at this stage now where she's exploring options and she's trying to decide what it is that she wants to do, it does feel like a huge mountain because she still hasn't figured out the how. How am I going to go from what I've been doing for the last 15 years to doing something else? How am I going to do that? And as she's trying to figure out the how, and she doesn't know how to figure out the how because she's not done that transition before, she's freaking out. She's freaking out and she's saying, this is too much. This is too hard. It's not possible. But we haven't got to that bit yet. So once she's identified what it is that she wants to do, the whole reason why she's joined the coaching program and the whole reason why I'm here to support is to help her with that step by step. Is to help her to identify, well, if this is where I am and this is where I want to be, this is the path that I need to take. And these are the action steps that I need to take, right? So she has the opportunity to follow the steps that are going to get her to where it is that she wants to go. But right now, because she can't see the plan all laid out, she's freaking out and saying it's going to be just easier for me to stay where I am. And does it even make sense for me to be rocking the boat? And this is why it is very, 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 very important. Whenever you embark on anything, whether it's career change or anything else that you want to do that isn't going to be easy, ask yourself, why am I doing this? And get really clear on why you are embarking on this journey. Don't just take the first reason, the top level reason that you give yourself. Take some time to reflect and identify, like, what is the real reason and what is the real motivation? Because understanding what that is and being clear on what that is going to be helpful when you have moments like this, where you have moments of the wobble, when you have moments of doubt, when you have moments where you're like, is this even worth it? Is it even possible? If you have a big enough why, if you have something that is concrete enough and that is motivating enough, then when you have those moments, you're able to go back to the why and say, okay, well, this is why I'm doing this in the first place. So therefore, I'm going to push through. Therefore, I'm going to keep going. I experienced this so many times as I've been going through my career journey and as I've been growing my business, going back to my why, because in the midst of it, when it's crazy and it's difficult and there's challenges, it can feel like, you know what, this is just too hard. I'm just going to throw in the towel. But when I go back to my why and I remind myself why I'm even doing this and the fact that I know that the impact that I'm having on the lives of others is something that I absolutely love to see. It fuels me. I feel like I'm using my skills and my talents to really help others. Like, that's really important to me. Making an impact, leaving a legacy is really important to me. So in the weeds of it, on a day-to-day basis, if I feel like I'm going to just throw in the towel, I remind myself of, why are you even doing this in the first place? There's multiple reasons why I'm doing this, and those reasons are often big enough than the feeling that I'm feeling in the moment that makes me say I want to throw in the towel. So I encourage you to figure out your why. If you have been saying for years that you want to make a career change and you're not happy, why is it important for you to make that move? Why is it important for you to figure out what that next step needs to be versus you staying in the stable role that you're in right now, you staying in what appears to be a perfect role to the outside world? Like, why is it important for you to move away from that versus staying in that? Have that clear and have that nearby, so that when you have these moments of feeling like you're just going to quit or you're not even going to pursue in the first place, that you can go back to that why. Okay. I want to share an analogy that I've shared before, and I'll share it again now because I think it's so relevant. And it is, when you think about a caterpillar who turns into a butterfly, like, what is that process? What is that process? In order for a caterpillar to turn into a beautiful butterfly, they have to spend a period where they are all wrapped up in a dark place, in a cocoon, for a period of time, experiencing something that they've never experienced before. Like, the caterpillar has never experienced turning into a butterfly before it's going through that process, right? But that process isn't a comfortable process. It isn't. To be in the dark, to not really know what's happening, that isn't a comfortable process. But what happens on the other side of that? What happens on the other side of that is that caterpillar is transformed into a beautiful butterfly and is experiencing life in a completely different way to how it experienced it before. Like, it didn't have wings before. Now it has wings and it can fly, right? It's a completely different experience. And I want to just encourage you that whatever transitions you go through in life, there is going to be a period of challenge. But after that period of challenge comes something amazing, right? After the caterpillar experience that being uncomfortable in the cocoon for a long period of time, it then turns into a butterfly. And so I want you to think about that when you're considering your career transition and you're considering making a change. It's worth it if you think about the end goal. If you're able to go from a place of feeling frustrated, like bored, overlooked, undervalued, just really not enjoying the work that you're doing, if you're able to move from that and move into a role that is completely aligned to what is important to you, and a role that allows you to leverage your strengths, and a role that allows you to enjoy the environment that you're in, a role that allows you to make the type of impact that you want to make in the world, like, is this period of discomfort, is this period of resistance worth pushing through in order for you to get to where it is you really want to get to, right? And it's a good time now to just touch on external factors. Like, there's going to be the internal things that are going on for you, like the mindset stuff, and you really just thinking through, is this something that I want to do? But there may well be external factors that are contributing to the way that you're feeling. So perhaps you are putting yourself out there, perhaps you are trying to network, perhaps you are applying and you're not getting the type of response that you want or the response that you think you deserve, and that is causing you to think, okay, well, it's not going to be possible for me to make that move. I want to caution you around that, because sometimes it is very much a numbers game. Sometimes it's about making sure that you're showing up enough, and you're making as many connections and you're having as many conversations as you can have in order for you to open up opportunities. Sometimes the timing may not be right. Like when you first reach out to somebody, or when you're first looking at an opportunity, the timing might not be perfect right now, but it could be down the road. So the reality is you have to be in it to win it. You have to be in it to win it. So when I hear people saying, you know, oh, my job search hasn't been successful, or I've been applying, and I'm asking the question, well, how many applications have you put in? And I'm hearing 2, or I'm hearing 3. I'm like, that isn't a lot. That isn't a lot in the grand scheme of things. So if you're not putting yourself out there enough, then the likelihood of you getting the results that you want to achieve are slim, right? So don't allow, you know, what you're seeing to determine whether or not you're going to keep going. The reality is the resistance that you're feeling internally and externally, it's there, but you have the opportunity to make a decision. Like, do I keep going? And is the why big enough for me to keep moving towards? Or do I just say, okay, it's too hard, I'm just going to stay where I am, and then be where you are and continue to be frustrated and upset? Like, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense, because when you think about the long term and you think about what you're trying to do in terms of your career and make a transition, there are many, many, many more years for you to work, right? So go through a period. It could be 3 months, it could be 6 months, it could be a year of figuring this out so that you can enjoy the work that you do on a day-to-day basis in the long term, versus just throwing in the towel because it gets a bit hard and then just staying doing what you're doing and not enjoying your work for years and years. Right? So I want to encourage you to, like, resistance doesn't necessarily mean you have to stop. Like, resistance is going to happen. So you decide, how am I going to react to that resistance? And what am I going to do to allow me to experience the type of work, the type of environment, the type of lifestyle that I really, really want to experience? Okay? So that is what I want to encourage you with. So I will be speaking to you very, very soon. Bye. If you enjoyed today's conversation, be sure to subscribe to the show so that you don't miss any future episodes. Also, I would love to know what your biggest takeaway has been from today's episode. Come over and join us in our Career Changemakers community over on LinkedIn so that you can join the conversation there.